Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk to you all about a couple important construction projects on the Long Island Railroad that need to be addressed along the main line because we have a lot to get into. This is what I'm only going to strictly focus this video on. And let me just move my mic up because sometimes I notice with this mic it can be iffy. That's better. Okay, so first thing I need to note here, and this is what I'm hoping. First things first, I'm hoping that this information is correct. We will go back to a full-time schedule on the Long Island Railroad starting on Monday, July 13th. And if I get any info from the train time app during the taping for the board meeting comments on Monday, I'm going to address to President Philip Bang that we need the 211 eastbound train from Penn Station to Long Beach restored. Because remember, that's my normal train I take when I'm going back to Queens. And it's like, yeah, do I want to go to Queens Village? Sure, but personal preference, Tim Hortons is better in Jamaica. Just saying, but I'm just hoping that they're going to restore that train. And especially how I like the engineer on that train. He has a very smooth voice. So I hope he's still working for the railroad, but yeah, I'm going to address that on Monday because we have a board meeting coming up on Wednesday next week, and I'll get to that. I should have put a tab there, but yep. If all goes well, let's hope that train gets restored. Now, second, I just want to mention that Port Washington Branch concrete tie installation. So this is very important for me if I am taking the 219 train from Penn to Port Washington. Because if I need to meet my dad in Auburndale for a reason, then that train is very useful, and I wouldn't mind concrete ties. Okay, they're going to install PTC on the Atlantic branch. They're going to be doing DOT Atlantic Avenue repairs on the Atlantic branch. Mainline expansion, West Side Yard overbuild, Long Beach Hurricane Sandy restoration. So, let me get this straight. It's been 7 years. Actually, no, my bad. I'm losing track of time. 8 years almost since Sandy hit our region, and they're still doing Hurricane Sandy restoration work 8 years later on Long Beach branch. Mid-Suffolk Yard construction and East Side access. Track work programs during the rest of this month and going into July will support the Mainline third track project. Okay, all of the schedule changes outlined here are current as of this writing, but due to continuing developing COVID-19 pandemic, changes may be necessary, including revisions to or cancellation of track work programs or the possibility of extending the essential service plan program currently in effect. But keep in mind, construction's permitted. Right, that's long gone, and by then, one of the projects, Long Island, should be in phase 4. So there really is no need to cancel anything. And another thing is, if Long Island's going to be in phase 4, then please just restore the 211 eastbound train from Penn. That's all I'm asking. Simple little thing I want to see come back. Alright, so PWB, Woodside to Metz Willets Point concrete tie installation and rail replacement. One or two main tracks will be out of service around the clock between Woodside and Metz Willets Point for installation of concrete ties and replacement of rails. Installing the new concrete ties in the PWB will offer greater reliability versus transitional wooden ties and a longer lifespan, thus reducing the need for future outages. Temporary service adjustments. With one or two main tracks out of service, schedule adjustments will occur on both weekdays and weekends. On weekdays during the AM peak period, which will be very pivotal once we go to Phase 2 on Monday, 2 trains in the PWB will be canceled and 1 train on the Babylon branch will be canceled. So I wonder, are they going to cancel one of those flyers during the afternoon? Let's find out. During the PM peak period, 1 Port Washington branch train will be canceled and combined with another, and 1 Hempstead line train will be diverted to Atlantic Terminal, Brooklyn. In addition, 2 reverse PM peak trains and 1 train just prior to the PM peak will also be canceled. To support this outage, off-peak Port Washington branch service will be reduced to hourly during the midday weekday period. Wait a minute. Please tell me they're not going to cancel the 219 train. Oh, I hope not. Really hope they're not going to cancel that train because it stops in Auburndale. Alright, on weekends, service will be reduced during the overnight period. Okay, let's just take a look at this. Alright, so, Mainline expansion project, Glen Cove Road Bridge replacement. Next weekend, and I hope this is happening, please, because the last thing we need is for this to get delayed. This has to get done. On the weekend of June 27th and 28th, both main tracks of the main line between Mineola and Hicksville will be out of service for a period of approximately 48 hours to support the replacement of the Glen Cove Road Bridge in Carle Place as part of the Mainline expansion project. Okay, so there is some decent news because I may be going to Wollaston Park next weekend, depending on circumstance. I'm not going to say why, but I may be. Okay, eastbound hourly service will operate between Penn Station and Mineola. And the good news for me is I will not be impacted. I hope not. 2 hourly Oyster Bay diesel service will operate between Jamaica and Oyster Bay. So I really don't want to take Nice Bus at night, please. For eastbound customers from westbound terminals traveling to Ronkonkoma stations, Farmingdale through Ronkonkoma, and to Port Jefferson branch stations, Hicksville through Huntington, and Port Jefferson customers will board electric MU Express service to Babylon, where they will transfer to diesel shuttle trains operating between Babylon and Hicksville. So I really don't need to read into this that much. Westbound hourly MU service will operate between Mineola and Penn Station, and 2 hourly Oyster Bay diesel service will operate between Oyster Bay and Jamaica. So the good news for Pine Power LI is, if he needs to get to Jamaica and get to the Babylon branch, he won't be impacted next week. Just as an example. So, if John from Pine Power LI is watching this, thank goodness your region's going to Phase 3. Because imagine if it wasn't. Oh boy. Imagine if Long Island wasn't going into Phase 3 and you couldn't do the indoor dining. That would not be good. Just saying. Okay. Extra trains have been added between Penn Station and Babylon to connect with shuttle trains between Babylon and Hicksville. Okay. Normal weekend service on other branches. Now, here's the question I'm wondering, and I'm going to ask the board this during the week, is that, are you going to have Nice Bus cross honor on the N22 and the N24, or are you actually going to give the people on the main line actual shuttle buses? Like, I don't know, bringing over buses from Queens Village? They have the coach bus fleet. Just bring them out there. Bring buses out from College Point even. You know? But no, they may not do that. They may not. We know why. We're not going to get into that. So I'll have to confront the board virtually on that next weekend because, bottom line is you can't leave people stranded. Can't leave people stranded. Especially when, I saw it on Pine Power's channel last night. Mineola was actually happening last night. I saw one of the bars. In fact, let me just make a quick point. The St. James last night, it was pretty crowded for outdoor dining last night. And I think one of the other bars by the train station, I forget the name of it. Yeah, Recovery Room. That was also crowded last night. Yep. And they're supposed to allow indoor dining on Wednesday. So it's going to get crowded on the weekends. Alright? So, and they even had live music last night at, I forgot the name of the bar again. St. James. Yeah, they had live music. So you can't leave people stranded. Just can't not leave people stranded if they're coming from Hicksville. Alright, so let's get into this Glen Cove Road thing. So, when we talk about Glen Cove Road, we talk about a very busy area, as you can see right here. A lot of these stores, of course, have reopened because they're already in phase 2. That's wrong information. Country Glen is open. A lot of the stores are open. They're just on limited hours, of course. Carle Place Diner should be doing indoor dining on Wednesday. 50% capacity. Alright, so let's just go over to this, I was wondering, where's Voice Road? Oh, wait, Voice Road is up there. Okay, let's talk about this. So, I'm going to say is, traffic in this area is going to be impacted. Alright, that's all I'm going to say. Traffic in this vicinity is really going to get impacted next week. Because when you look at how this area is normally busy, right? Look at all the cars. When was the street view from? Yeah, October of last year. It was pretty busy. Yeah, look at that graffiti. Yep, they're going to have to clean that up. But it's an area where you're dealing with a lot of traffic. There are people who are going to be out next weekend, considering that Long Island's in phase 3. Most people are going back to work. And imagine having Glen Cove Road shut down next weekend. That's going to be a headache. Just because they have to replace this whole bridge. I mean, I understand why they're doing it. I mean, a truck can easily hit this. So, it is getting old anyway. And another thing is, they gotta get rid of these wooden poles. I agree with Pine Power LI on that. These wooden poles have gotta go. They gotta be replaced with steel. So, are they even gonna replace those wooden poles? Only time will tell. Most likely not, depending on what. So, all I'm just gonna say is, if you need to get anywhere on Glen Cove Road next weekend, you're out of luck. The only thing I'd recommend doing next weekend if you want to avoid this, I know it may be a little bit of an inconvenience next weekend, but I would just say, if possible, try to use Westbury Avenue. And then, I know you may not like this idea, but you can go down Roslyn Road, then make a left on Old Country, and then just go back to Country Glen if you need to do that. The only issue is Roosevelt Field's not going to be open till phase 4. And keep in mind, Long Island is not supposed to be in phase 4 until, and I have the date on my phone, until July 8th. So that's 2 extra weeks where Roosevelt Field's not even going to be open. And another thing is, I know the governor's ending the briefings every day, but eventually he has to make an announcement on mall capacity when a region goes to phase 4. So, Mr. Governor, please keep that in mind. But I'm just going to quickly mention, it's going to be great seeing indoor dining in Long Island next weekend. Big sigh of relief on that. So trust me, you're going to see a lot of people come out to Long Island next weekend. I guarantee it. Alright? All over the island it's going to be busy. Alright, so quickly off topic, but I just want to quickly mention the economic impact that these projects are going to have. Now, speaking of economic impacts, let's talk about this project that I have been very antsy about in New Hyde Park. Alright, so, on the weekend of July 11th and 12th, oh, right, talked about bus service, okay. The weekend of July 11th and 12th, they will be eliminating, finally, the grade crossing at New Hyde Park Road. So about time, folks. About time. This is very important that they are finally going to decrease train horse use and, more importantly, stop the traffic congestion on New Hyde Park Road going into Garden City Park. About time. Okay, so let's get into it. So, I want to mention that there will be no service between Penn and Hicksville. And keep in mind that the reason why they're not doing this work the weekend before is it's July 4th, the week before. It's a federal holiday. You can't make construction workers work on a federal holiday. And plus, not to mention, let's say for July 4th weekend, alright? Obviously, we know that Mayor de Blasio said the 4th of July fireworks is still going to happen at the moment. Let's say they're going to allow limited crowd capacity in the city, right? They'll allow a few minimal people to see the fireworks in person on Saturday, July 4th. You can't impact those people trying to go into the city. And not to mention, it's 2 days before the city's supposed to go into Phase 3 on July 6th. There's still outdoor dining that people may want to take advantage of in the city. So you can't really impact people who may want to go into Manhattan on that day. So, very good scheduling by Philip Banks' crew, I guess. Alright, so once again, no service between Penn and Hicksville. So there's bad news for Pine Power. If he needs to get to Bibbadon, looks like he's stuck that weekend. Right, once again, no service between Hicksville and Penn. Now again, the only issue that I have with this problem is we're going back to their pre-pandemic antics. Look at this. Why aren't they once again, I've been saying this all along. Why can't they just tell people to get off at North 7th Street and Franklin Avenue? That's where the Garden City train station is. Now, let me think this for a second. Are they making people take the Hempstead branch? Because I'm thinking they're probably going to have to divert. They've done this in the past where they divert the Penn trains to the Hempstead branch. Okay, let me see. I'm just trying to see for a second. Let's see. Okay, I'm just reading this very quickly here. I don't see anything about Hempstead trains. So, right. Right. So, I don't know how they're not being elaborate. Oh, here we go. Found it. Extra trains will be added between Hempstead and Penn Station. to serve as an alternative service option for customers traveling to and from New Hyde Park, Mainline Avenue, Mineola, Carle Place, and Hicksville. But again, the bus service is going to be crazy bus. They're probably going to tell people, sorry, you're going to have to take the M4041. But again, it doesn't make any sense to go to Hempstead. Why are you telling people to go to Hempstead? Which, that's another thing. I'm going to have to confront the MTA board about this on Monday. Alright? I'm going to tell them, why are you telling people to go to Hempstead when it's a short bus ride down Franklin Avenue just to get to North 7th Street and then get service westbound to the city? And not to mention, they're ruining the first weekend of Phase 3 in a sense. I know it has to get done. I understand that. But you're causing a burden for people who are coming from Long Island and want to take advantage of indoor dining in the city in Phase 3. Alright? So, I really don't get that. I really don't. Once again, bus service will be provided between Mineola and Hicksville. But again, it's probably going to be the N22 or the N24. So, trust me. There are a lot of issues I'm going to have to bring up with the LIRR on Monday. Believe me. Because I'm very mad right now. I'm not irate like I used to be, but still, we know why this happens. We know why. It's Babylon Branch or bust. Alright? And if you don't know what Babylon Branch or bust is, just figure it out on your own. Or look it up in my previous videos where I ranted about this subject. Or it's also PWB or bust too. Alright, so thankfully the good news is this was part of the Long Island Railroad operating and capital budgets. So, wrap up this video. I'm just going to show you, what am I going to show you? Right, New Hyde Park. And remember, I'll card the video right now. I was thankfully able to cover the bus detour on the N25. So I'm hoping if TransDev or Nassau County is going to be transparent, that they are going to basically tell us that the N25 should be going back along its regular route along New Hyde Park Avenue. Because the bottom line is, it has to go back on its regular route. No exceptions. I'm just quickly taking a look at New Hyde Park Road. Okay, so let's talk about the grade crossing. Many of you know I've had an issue with this grade crossing before. I've covered when we've had technical glitches before. And over the years, and I'm sure many of you know about this grade crossing, it's a nuisance. We've put pressure on the Long Island Railroad for a long time to finally get rid of this annoying grade crossing. Because we obviously know over the years that many people would just take Nassau Boulevard to avoid this mess at New Hyde Park Road. That's why we've had congestion over the years. That's why people just love to go over the Mainline Avenue Bridge. So, it just causes a lot of congestion. And when you put the bridge over here, like they did at Cove Avenue, in fact, did Google even take a recent street view of Cove? Let's take a look. Yep, they don't even have a recent image of the Cove Avenue Bridge, which again, I have gotten it on tape. I've seen it myself in person while I was on the N25. It's a beautiful bridge. They did a great job with that bridge. And I'm hoping that maybe they're taking the same design with, Mainline Avenue, and then putting it at New Hyde Park. I meant to say Culvert Avenue Bridge. And putting it at New Hyde Park. My bad. Because I get so frustrated every time I talk about the grade crossing. You know? I have to deal with it every time I take the N25. You know, I have to take that 1058 westbound train. And I don't care if it makes local stops, you know? I got lucky that one time. Okay, fine. As I said before to the board, I'm allowed to be a hypocrite in some way. But at the same time, you know, there's big impacts when you do a project correctly. So, I hope that in the near future, I will be making my way to New Hyde Park, take a look at the bridge. Pre-pandemic, I was debating sometime in March if I was going to take a look at the mess at New Hyde Park myself. And obviously that didn't happen thanks to the stay-at-home orders. But now that the stay-at-home orders are being lifted, hopefully within the next couple of months, I'll make my way over to New Hyde Park. And hopefully I'll do a video in person about what the bridge looks like. Because I have been waiting a long time to see it. It's time for improvement. And we'll move on. And the Mainline will start a new chapter in a positive direction. And from there, we'll work our way. Alright. So, with that, I'm going to wrap it all up. So thank you all for watching. Till the next one, please take care.